it's simple. How do you know what you're looking at as a mixture or a solution?
Is a solution liquid and a mixture is solid?
I could have a solid solution.
A mixture is where you can see all the components of it.
Yeah. Okay. So I can visibly see components. Even more importantly,
Oh.
in a mixture, I can physically separate them. So some of you guys, when you were younger, I mean, notice these things around now, where it's like this little tube and it's filled with a bunch of junk, like little shreds of plastic, and then there's like little figurines or a ball or like a jack. You're supposed to shake it up and see if you can find all the items in there. You remember doing that? Okay, that would be an example of a mixture. If I dig a hole in the ground and I bring up my spade full of dirt, that's a mixture. But a solution is almost the complete opposite. It can be a solid solution, but mostly they are liquids. It could also be fluids. And with a solution, it's just the opposite. Most of the components are dissolved, and they cannot be physically separated. They can only be chemically separated. I'll plan to pause this.
I do. I don't.
Okay, so, you guys remember exothermic releases heat energy? And endothermic absorbs heat energy. You'll need to know that for your test in 2 days.
Me too.
Now, the last two types of chemical reactions I want to go over, something called a synthesis and a decomposition reaction. And it's probably easier if I ask you to explain what you think a decomposition reaction is doing. What does that imply? What's the root word of decomposition? Decompose. And what does it mean to decompose? To rot away, or to basically fall apart. So when we think about a decomposition reaction, we're taking things apart.
Decay.
Or decaying. Okay? So a lot of times in decomposition, it's a reaction that takes things apart. And similar to what Hannah was talking about with decaying, we can think about that as dissolving. Okay, so
Like when bananas get really nasty and black.
that would be a decomposition reaction. Now, more specifically, think about sodium chloride, salt. And if I take salt and I pour it into a glass of water, what happens to that salt? It dissolves, and so it decomposes to the sodium ion and the chlorine ion. So it's a decomposition. We're taking them things apart. The synthesis reaction, Logan, is the exact opposite of that. So Derek, if the synthesis is the complete opposite of decomposition, what do you think is happening in a synthesis reaction? Putting things back together. Yep. Hannah, I've had enough today. So a synthesis reaction is a reaction that puts things together. So think about it as taking our sodium ions and our chlorine ions, and we get salt as an outcome. So here we go. Let's take a look at a few of these. look at this first example here. Is it synthesis or decomposition?
Wait, which one, the first one?
Number 6, yep. So let's go back to our two definitions.
Come on.
Flat ice.
Yeah, synthesis. Okay. So that is a synthesis reaction. Okay, Lewis, you think you got the next one? Yes, that's decomposition. Oh, and Zane says, hey, I got number 8. What is it, Zane? Close. Synthesis. All right, so that's pretty much it for today.